So let's get to it. A little bit of an overview. I'm not sure if we have students or parents on this call, but we will be going over the welcome letter that should have been sent to the student email, some deadlines. We will have a little bit of a building overview. We'll discuss some meal plans, resources, and then Q&A. Okay, so if your student paid their $300 deposit with admissions, admissions then sends their information to housing every week, and we start sending out our welcome emails every Friday. So an email should have came to your first year student's Pitt email address with a welcome letter, and this is a portion of that welcome letter. It lets the student know when their housing application is due, and if they are a student that was admitted since last year up until last Thursday, their deadline right now is May 1st. But if your student is someone who has not gone through the admissions process yet, so they have not gotten an email from us, their deadline may be a little bit later. Regardless, your deadline is going to be located in your actual email that you get from Panther Central. So that's when you want to have your housing application submitted by. That deadline is also when you want to pre-submit your photo by. So if you complete the housing application, there is a reminder in the email that you would get when you're finished that says, don't forget to pre-submit your photo. This is a very important part of the process because you will need your Panther ID for every aspect of being on campus, whether that's swiping into your residence hall, using your meal plan, getting on the city bus. That is a crucial part of being a Pitt student. So you want to make sure that you're doing your part in pre-submitting the photo. And we will either mail your Panther ID to you closer to arrival, or we'll have it available for you to pick up whenever you arrive to campus. A couple of other deadlines that are a little farther back are roommate requests and LLC requests. So on that, or in the housing application, you do have the student has the opportunity to create a roommate group. So if they know another student attending Pitt in the fall, or if they've met somebody, they can request to be roommates, or they can, and also they can apply to live in an LLC. And both of these things are due by June 1st. The reason that these deadlines are later than the housing application deadline is because technically, as a guaranteed first year student, you have a 3-year housing guarantee coming in from admissions, which means that if you pay your deposits and complete your applications on time, you can retain your guarantee for your 3 years while living on campus. So you want to make sure that you complete your housing application by the deadline included in your email that you're getting from Panther Central. But then you have the opportunity to update your application after that deadline up until June 1st. So you can update your meal plan, your roommates, your LLC, things like that. So one part of the housing application indicates that you should list at least 3 building preferences for your on-campus housing accommodation. We ask you to list 3 to 5 because your first choice is never guaranteed, but we try our best to give you at least one of your preferences. So this grid, which can be located on our website, is available for students to kind of get a broad picture of the spaces available that they have to choose from as an incoming first year student. And the way that I like to tell students how to choose their preference is by room types. So if I'm a student who doesn't necessarily have a roommate request, but is open to have roommates, but maybe I don't want more than one roommate, then I'm going to be looking at this grid for doubles because I know that I wouldn't have maybe more than one immediate roommate. So you would find that in the room type option. But if I'm somebody who wants to live in a single, but wants to live on a floor with other first year students and have that first year community opportunity, but still have a space to myself, then maybe I'm interested in a single instead, which would be Tower C or Lothrop or Holland. So we do have a wide range of spaces on campus available to our first year students that would be able to accommodate any of their needs. So depending on what they are looking for, I would take advantage of this grid and also utilizing our housing page on Panther Central's website to take a look at each building type to see the amenities in each building, location, and things like that in order to update the preferences on their application. So we do get some questions on meal plan options, and although that I don't work in dining, I work alongside of dining, and I just wanted to highlight that currently these are the meal plan options or memberships that are available to choose from on the housing application. And I will say that rates are subject to change. They are still being finalized for the upcoming academic year. But these are what our current first year students had to choose from last year as well. We've gotten great feedback. I just want to let you know that in each of these meal plan types, you do have the opportunity for a meal exchange, which some students don't necessarily know that they have as an option, which means that if I have an unlimited meal plan type, at least one of my meals per day, I can exchange for a space on campus like Taco Bell or Chick-fil-A, and it still counts as a meal swipe. And I don't have to use any additional dining dollars to pay for anything on the menu. So if I'm going to do a meal exchange at Chick-fil-A, it may be, a grilled chicken sandwich meal with fries and a drink or fruit and a drink, or maybe Taco Bell that has, 3 tacos with a drink and a side, something like that. But you do have the opportunity not to necessarily eat at the all you care to eat facilities on campus, and you do have that flexibility to use your meal plan at spaces like the grill and things like that. I also wanted to say that you're listing your meal plan preference on your housing application as just a preference. And we do book you or assign you that meal plan whenever we do our housing assignments. However, you have until add drop to change your meal plan. So we know that it's a big decision to pick your meal plan when you don't necessarily know what your schedule is or what your day will look like if you're involved in other things on campus or you live local and you might be at home on the weekends more often. So don't feel like the choice that you make today is the end all be all. You do have the opportunity to change that over the summer and all the way up until add drop as you're trying to figure out your schedule and what works best for your meal plan option. So like I said before, I'm not sure how many of you on this Zoom are students or, Pitt family who are here representing a student. But just in case, if you're not a student, this is what the first year portal looks like. So your student should log on to their My Pitt and go through Pitt Pay to pay their deposit and then click on Guaranteed First Year. And this is what that page looks like. So step 1 is completing that housing application, which you see right underneath that blue block. And then after you complete that application, you shouldn't have to go in there ever again after you complete it. Any update that you would want to make to your housing application would be in the Update Your Preferences portal here. And that allows you to update your LLC preference, your meal plan preference. It can you can update your roommate group there, RSA interest. That's all a part of that. And something that I do want to highlight here, if you indicate interest on your application for a particular LLC, you still need to complete the LLC supplemental application. So if you're interested in sustainability LLC, you will have to indicate that on your housing application. And then once you complete your application, you'll want to click here to apply for the actual LLC, and it'll forward you to the actual sustainability LLC application. So you do still have until June 1st to complete that as well. And we will send reminders after May 1st if you have not completed, to make sure that you do have the right amount of time to complete your application, so that if you're still interested in the LLC, that there's an opportunity for you to join that community. So some resources that are available, and this is all included in the email that the student gets from Panther Central with their welcome letter. Our website has a lot of resources like FAQs, upcoming deadlines and dates. You can sign up for the Zoom sessions there. You can look at building preferences, meal plan options, things like that, all by going to our website. Panther Central is also a really great resource. They are open 24 hours a day. You can send an email, call, or a chat. There's always a representative that would be happy to talk with you. And if they don't know the answer, they can connect you with somebody who will know the answer. And then if you have other questions regarding the application process or housing in general, you can always sign up for an upcoming Zoom session. As of right now, they are going to be every Tuesday with differentiating times. So today it's 2 p.m., next week maybe 4 p.m., the following week maybe 6 p.m. So we're kind of rotating it throughout the day on Tuesdays to give everybody an equal opportunity to sign up if they have any questions. So I'm opening it up for Q&A now, but before I stop sharing my screen, I am going to walk through what the updating preferences portal looks like for a first year. So I'm going to close out of my PowerPoint here. And can you confirm if you can see this housing portal? I think so. Amanda, can you see?
I can see it.
Okay, great. So I am technically, I pretend that I'm an incoming first year student. So I've already completed my housing application, and I want to update my preference for maybe my meal plan. So I click on that button there, and this is what this screen looks like here. So you can see that these are answers that have pulled over directly from my housing application. So you can see that I'm not interested in 12-month housing. I'm not interested in RSA right now. My LLC request is going to be sustainability. And there's also a question here that asks me my assignment priority. So if I am someone who applied to live in an LLC, but I also have a roommate request, this is where I am going to rank that priority. So if my priority is to live with my friend over an LLC, then I'm going to put my roommate request here. But if my priority is to be a part of the sustainability LLC, whether I'm living with a friend or not, then I'm going to put LLC request there. If neither option really applies to me and I don't really care, then I'm just going to put not applicable. And I will say that just because you apply for an LLC and you had a roommate doesn't necessarily mean that you're not going to end up with your roommate request in your LLC. We do have instances where the LLC is still looking for some students to fill in some spaces. So they allow you to bring in your roommate. So you end up getting your roommate request and living in the LLC. Or if your roommate is also applying for that LLC, then there you go. It worked out both ways. And you can see under here for room preferences, these are my 3 preferences. I can go on and add more if I'd like to. Let's see, what if I want to live in a Sutherland suite? This is where I update my roommate matching preferences. So, maybe right now I don't stay up late, but in college, maybe I want to stay up late. So I'm going to hit yes there. And then this is where I think a lot of our questions come up about the roommate group requests. So we like to designate one student as a leader of the group. So I'm going to be the leader. And you can see here that I'm the leader of the group. But now I need to invite my friends that I want to live with. So I'm going to need their PeopleSoft number. I'm going to search for Holly. And now I've invited Holly to be a part of my group. Now, Holly has to actually complete her housing application, but as she's completing her application, my invitation will show up on her application and it'll ask her to accept the invitation. So once she accepts that invitation, invited will then change to member. So that's how we designate a true group, is when it has a leader and at least one member. So that's, and we do send reminders too for students who forget to accept their invitation, or for students who maybe are confused in the process. We will send out further instructions on how to do that, but that's technically how you build a group. And then down at the bottom, it will ask me if I want to update my my meal plan options. And that now has updated all of my preferences on my application. And I can go in there as many times as I want between now and June 1st to complete my preferences. Okay, so at this time, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I'm going to open up the chat for Q&A. So I will start from the top. Okay, is the LLC supplemental application where you answer the 2 essay questions? So yes, I don't necessarily know if the LLC that you are interested in has the 2 essay questions, but because a lot of our LLCs have different applications, because our partners oversee that process. So if you're getting an application that has essay questions or questions to answer about yourself, then yes, that is most likely the supplemental application for that LLC. Robin asked, when do the housing assignments come out? Do you have resources to find a roommate? So housing assignments will come out. We aim for mid-July because that will give you at least a month to prep for arrival. But technically right now the academic calendar has not been solidified for next year, so we're still working on arrival dates and things like that. But to kind of guide you through the process, we don't start our housing assignments until June 1st, which is why that deadline is very prominent in our process. So that's why we allow students to change their application as many times, or their preferences as many times as they want before that date, because even if you get accepted, you go through the admissions process and you complete your housing application in March, we don't touch your application until June 1st because we do everyone's assignments at the same time. So it's just fair and square that way, and that's how we do it. So the entire month of June, we are working our way at assigning our 4,000 first-year students. And do we have resources to find a roommate? Yes. So once your student completes their housing application, they will start getting emails from a third party that we like to use called RoomSync. And they allow students who have a Facebook or a Gmail account to create basically these accounts to try to find a roommate based off of preferences and interests and things like that. If you match on RoomSync, you still need to come back to your preferences portal to create that roommate group, because that's how you create the true group, like I had said before. So if you don't do that second part, then you don't technically have a true roommate group. But yes, RoomSync is a resource that we use, and we will be sending out more information about that here shortly, and you will get emails from RoomSync themselves. Trevor asked, do you happen to know where the Health Sciences LLC is located? So there are LLCs that we do not give out their location, because that can change any given year based off of the number of applications or the need for the LLC itself. So I'm not able to disclose where the Health Science LLC is located because I don't know right now either. Samantha asked, if I commit in late April, do I have a decreased chance of getting my first housing preference? And the answer to that is no. Like I said, everybody has the opportunity to update their preferences as many times as they want until June 1st. We don't look at preferences or applications until literally the morning of June 2nd. And that's when we do all of our assignments at the same time. And we can't guarantee that you will get your first housing preference, but we will try our best. So we never say that anything is guaranteed because things change all the time. So it does not matter when you commit, as long as you have all of your preferences in by June 1st. Andrew asked if we have any pictures of the residence hall rooms. So photos and UVisit tours are available on our website. So just go to pc.pitt.edu and click on housing, and then you'll want to go to housing options and click through the halls that way. And we will also be posting some photos and videos on our social media pages. So be sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook for that as well. Zaria asked, if you apply for housing early, do you have a better chance of getting the selection you chose? And the answer is no. Because Pitt has rolling admissions, we make it fair and square and do everyone's assignments at the same time. So it doesn't matter if you commit now and apply or on May 31st. We don't look at anything until June 2nd, and we're doing everything at the same time. Robin asked, is Lothrop a common dorm for first years? So Lothrop actually is a building that we house first year and upper class students in. We have LLCs in that building that will be in that building. So the nursing LLC is in that building, and so is the gender and sexuality LLC, and both of those LLCs pertain to upper class and first year students. And we do have designated floors for first years. So we have plenty of first year students who put that Lothrop as their first choice because they love the opportunity of living in a single with a sink in a building that is still really close to Central Campus, and it has really great amenities. So I wouldn't necessarily say it's a common dorm, but I would say that it's a popular dorm on our preferences and also for LLCs and the community reasons. Another question, can you select the same building twice and just change the room type? Yes. So an example of a building with different room types would be Sutherland. So Sutherland East and West offers doubles and suite style, and suites are 6 and 8 person suites. So if you really are interested in living in Sutherland, you can always put a Sutherland 2-person, a Sutherland 6-person, and a Sutherland 8-person, because that technically gives us 3 different preferences for each student. Okay, I'm not seeing any other questions come in. Does anybody have any other question? Amanda, can you think of anything that I may have missed? Samantha asked, I'm in honors and my roommate is not. Is it still possible to live in Sutherland? Yes. So Sutherland has 2 sides, east and west. Honors will be on, well, as of right now, honors will be on one of them. If you're asking if your roommate will live in honors with you, it only depends if they have the room for your roommate. But if you are just interested in living in Sutherland with your roommate, I would just make sure that you list Sutherland as a preference for each of you. And then if you still are applying for the LLC, to maybe list roommate preference or roommate preference as your preference if that's what your main concern is, to be in Sutherland with your roommate. Because honors does not take up the entire building. We have regular student population living in Sutherland as well.
I was just going to say, I'm just going to drop the link to the FirstYear portal into the chat, and then all of our Zoom sessions are going to be recorded and will also live on this page.
Sounds good. Okay, so I did see one other question come in. How would you rate the dining hall food? So I'm not a student and never attended Pitt as an undergraduate student, so I really can't say what my experience has been in the dining halls. However, we've had really great feedback this year on our new dining provider, Compass, and they've brought a lot of really cool concepts and new ideas to the dining on campus, and they're making even more strides for the fall. Um, but if you have any dining specific related questions, I would either, and Amanda just dropped it into the chat as well, check out the dineoncampus.com /Pitt website or contact Panther Central. We can connect you with the dining director, Joe, who would be happy to answer any of your questions with dining. I did want to list out here, and it is on our website as well, some resources. So if you have questions related to dining, that information is on there. If you have an accommodation that should be documented with disability resources, their information is on our website. If you are an incoming student athlete, I would stay in touch with athletics because we work directly with them as well for any student athletes who may have questions about their housing. LLC information is on our website, so if you have questions about particular LLCs, ResLife is a great resource. I work directly with the partner who oversees the LLC process on campus. And also, if you have any other building questions or information regarding the application, to please utilize Panther Central. We are here to answer your questions 24 hours a day, and really look forward to each incoming class that comes in every fall. And arrival information will come out as soon as we know when arrival is scheduled to be and what it will look like for that as well. So if we have no other questions, then I'm gonna leave the Zoom now, I guess, and the recording will be saved and available on our website for future reference. And also don't hesitate to sign up for future Zooms. Otherwise, it was great being with you all today, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you.